Hi guys, and welcome to It's a Heartthang. My name is Cynthia, and today I want to talk to you about how we need to always celebrate the good even when we're in the midst of so much bad. I'll be the first to say that 2020 was a year that took a lot of us by storm, by surprise, possibly very overwhelming to a lot of us. The number one thing which we all experienced was the pandemic. And this pandemic affected the whole world. The whole world. We lost about 3.4 million people worldwide to this pandemic. We actually had to change the way we interacted with one another, social distancing, wearing masks. And those of us who are introverted made us even more introverted. And those of us who actually are what we call social butterflies did not have that social part of our lives that keeps us basically stable. So a lot of that was cut off when the pandemic came on. And then you look at the religious and the political division that somehow just elevated in 2020. You had people bombing homes where children and civilians were living, causing major chaos, major sadness in those communities. Here in America where I live, you had police basically not bringing or letting people come home after they were stopped for minor infractions, minor traffic violations. Somehow a minor traffic violation turned into a death sentence. And then another thing that probably it got some attention was just how during this pandemic a lot of women lost their jobs and their ability to earn income at a much greater rate than men. And a lot of these women now are not able to go back into the workforce and generate the same kind of income that they were generating prior to the pandemic. So 2020, man, really gave us an opportunity to see the world and how it looks when we peel back the layers of all that surface. We're all in this together. And when you start to pull back those layers, you kind of see the ugly side of the human being. And what I want to say is that in the midst of all of this ugliness, in the midst of all this turmoil and unjust behavior by people who are in power, I want us to remember that you have to take time to celebrate the good. You have to make time to celebrate the good. And it doesn't have to be big things. It could be something as small as you got an A on a paper that you've been studying for. It could be something, of course, big, like say you had a medical procedure or you have a test that you had to take to see what was going on with you internally, and you got back your results and the medical results said that everything was fine and that you don't need to have anything done. You can celebrate the good, like say for instance your baby took its first steps, and that is a milestone in that young spirit's life, and that's something you can celebrate. So we don't have to always carry that heavy burden of what's going on in the world. For instance, I say if you find yourself being pulled into a negative conversation or a toxic situation and you say, stop, I choose to protect my peace. I choose to not be involved in whatever it is that's unfolding around me, and you walk away. Celebrate yourself because you had the strength to say, wait, no, and leave. Those are the things that I'm saying. And to celebrate, it's funny, sometimes we think that celebrating means you go out and do a shopping spree, or you go out and take yourself to dinner, and that you have to do something elaborate. But you don't. You can do very small, minuscule things that can make your soul feel good. One thing I would do is go and get me a nice flavorful cup of coffee somewhere. Get one of those fancy coffees at one of your local establishments. And that's saying, hey, I celebrate you. You are worthy. Simple things like just say, hey, I'm going to take some time to sit and read my favorite book. Or I'm going to go into a room and basically put on a funny show and sit there and laugh for like 15 or 30 minutes. Something that elevates your soul, elevates your spirit, that gives you that joy at that moment. So in the midst of all that's going on, and it's a continual sort of, I don't want to say downward spiral, but just compounding more negative and bad things on top of bad things already. And that can weigh you down. It definitely weighs me down. I'll be the first to say, because I'm a news junkie, I will sit and watch the news, incessantly. And it can bring your spirit down. It can bring your energy down. And so I have to find myself walking away from it and doing something that causes me a little joy, trying to celebrate that inner person, that inner spirit in me, and kind of give me a balance. So all I want to say is just take care of yourself. Make sure that you put yourself first. Always fill up yourself, fill up your cup. Make sure that you're well, because this constant barrage of negative news can really, really wear you down. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed these words, and I wish you joy. Until next time, my name is Cynthia, and it's a Heartthang. Bye, guys.